Alright, so once again, I'm live coming in. Long weekend. Shoot, actually, I woke up about an hour ago. But, say I was coming on, so I'm on. A little head knocker, but be alright. A lot of stuff been going on. The weather been crazy around here. One minute it's hot today, and 1 minute it's not. But at the same time, it's alright. But there's been a lot of flooding, a lot of things going on, and you gotta be talked about. Probably won't be on long because I got a little bit like this. Sniffles or whatever. Leaving the fan on too long. But yeah, what it is, right? Alright. So let me get this thing right. This Texas flooding.
Well, the activity has momentarily wound down, but there is still more rain occurring over the Guadalupe River Basin, which has seen a lot of rain over the past 12 to 14 hours. This huge area, over 6 inches, with local reports near Kerrville actually nearing the 10-inch mark. All of this rain falling at an astonishingly fast rate, complicating the already dangerous search and rescue efforts ongoing tonight.
Good job, guys.
In Kerrville, Texas, just northwest of San Antonio, first responders continue battling treacherous conditions, searching for those still missing following devastating 4th of July floods.
Not just every hour, every minute counts, which is why there's people in the air, people in the water, people on the ground right now, because they're looking to save every last life, and we will not give up that effort.
The Guadalupe River reached 26 feet high in less than an hour, the second highest ever. Lorena Guillen runs a restaurant in Kerrville. She says a nearby RV park was full for the holiday. All of those RVs, she said, were washed away.
We had all the EMS and rescue team trying to save a family that was at the river, clinging for life, and they couldn't get to them.
You heard them?
We all heard them.
Rescuers desperately searching for more than 24 young girls from Camp Mystic who are among the missing. Pierce Boyette and his brother Rufin managed to escape from Camp La Junta with the help of heroic staff.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we have bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
100 miles to the east, at least 2 deaths are linked to major flooding in Travis County.
This is the worst I've seen it.
On Saturday, the San Gabriel River also overflowed. Flash floods there prompted evacuations in Georgetown and Williamson County. The White House says it's monitoring the situation.
The federal government needs to be here for the support and extra resources on the ground as well. And that is what we are doing. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the Trump administration would approve a federal disaster declaration for Texas. Now, unfortunately for Central Texas, it is another round of rain, not only tonight, but also tomorrow, with localized totals in some of these areas anywhere from 3 to 5 inches.
This is the quickest way to fix nerve pain.
If nerve damage is permanent, then how are Dr. Kyle's patients reversed?
The situation in Texas continues to get worse after catastrophic flooding there in Hill Country. Authorities say at least 78 people have been killed, with more than a dozen of those deaths being children. A desperate search continues for the dozens still missing. The flooding hit central Texas on Friday, causing a surge of more than 20 feet on the Guadalupe River near Kerrville. Nearly a dozen girls and one counselor are still missing from a Camp Mystic. It's a private Christian summer camp in the town of Hunt. Texas officials are calling the rescue and recovery efforts a marathon. They say more than 850 people have been rescued so far. And as their work continues, residents are also stepping in to lend a helping hand.
Everyone's just trying to do their part. There's it's a horrible sense of search, right? Because you're searching for something you hope you don't find. But at the same time, if you've got family members that are missing, you hope there are people out there looking for them.
President Donald Trump has declared a disaster declaration for the area. That's giving first responders access to more federal resources.
Start tonight with the catastrophic flooding that's happening this week in Texas. Governor Greg Abbott held a news conference this afternoon announcing the death toll has risen to 70.
So this is South Carolina. They have the same problems.
I'm News 19 meteorologist Dana Wilson. We are currently on our third named storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, tracking Tropical Storm Chantal currently. Our recent update from the National Hurricane Center at 2 p.m. It's located 185 miles southwest of Wilmington, North Carolina, and 150 miles of Charleston, South Carolina. Now, this storm has gained some speed, especially as it's staying offshore with some winds of 45 miles per hour and gusts exceeding 50. Now, movement, it is moving very slowly. However, still starting to pick up just a little bit. Now, let's take a look at this storm track that we're expecting. Still continuing it to stay offshore for today. However, by Sunday, that's when we're expecting this storm early morning to begin to move inland. By Sunday night, though, become a tropical depression, still producing some rain for areas in North Carolina as far as Monday early morning. Now, tropical forecast, you can see a very strong storm as of right now, but we're not.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Sure, just chill. How you doing, man? Maintain it, man.
Yeah, a lot of rain. I played thing about Texas flood, but South Carolina and North Carolina getting the flooding too. We got quite a bit of rain today. Like it'd be sunny here, then it rain for 20 minutes. Then it's sunny here, rain, then it might be sunny, rain for 30. Yeah, so okay. I fell asleep for a while, but yeah, we're moving. So, but yeah, I'm playing it now.
Expecting it to rapidly intensify into a hurricane, still remaining a tropical storm, but then it will begin to move inland towards the coastal plains of the Carolinas by 8 p.m. tonight, producing some very heavy rainfall, especially towards the very southern part, right along that border of North Carolina, and for some areas that are very close to the coast of the beaches, Myrtle Beach, expecting some rainfall before producing a lot of rain near the PD area into tomorrow afternoon before that storm very much pushes upwards towards North Carolina. Tropical storm watches that we're seeing as of right now, watches and warnings. We have this tropical storm warning that's producing some heavy winds and rain within 12 hours from Myrtle Beach all the way down to the Santee River, South Santee River, we're instructed. And then a tropical storm watch we're also watching for near Olive Palms, all the way down to Edisto Beach within the next 12 to 24 hours. Now, I know a lot of our friends definitely wanted to head out to the beach for this holiday weekend. However, we do have to let you know very high risk, dangerous, and life-threatening conditions, especially as this storm is hanging offshore and expected to move towards our area very soon. Some rainfall expected in the next hour towards our coastal plains of Myrtle Beach and Charleston. Then mostly for us here in the Midlands, seeing a lot of rain. However, tonight, though, once that storm does begin to push into the Palmetto State, some heavy rainfall near Myrtle Beach. And that is definitely going to be expected to pick up in the PD area, even could produce some possible thunderstorms behind it as well, and that threat of some localized flooding. So you'll want to make sure that you're paying attention to the weather and keeping an eye on the sky. Avoid those flooded areas. By tomorrow morning, though, not quite just seeing some rain here in the Midlands, but some showers begin to drop down from the PD area towards our northeastern parts of the Midlands by the afternoon. And then we'll continue to see, as the storm begins to push towards North Carolina, mostly that typical summer weather of some very warm temperatures and some daily rain chances. It's going to stick around into Monday as well, but we're expecting conditions to improve storm-wise from this storm on Saturday evening. By the time that we head into Monday, we'll still have some stray showers that's sticking around, but again, we're emphasizing that that's going to be typical summer weather, not necessarily from the storm. Depending on how fast that rainfall moves in, though, once the storm does move towards the coastal plains of North and South Carolina, could pose a threat of some flooding in most areas from Myrtle Beach all the way down to Charleston, mostly towards those outer coastal plains. And then as we head into Sunday tomorrow.
I never post stuff like this, but I had to share. I cook almost every.
Yeah. So obviously a lot of flooding going on. Then it could be a lot of stuff going on in what do you call it? What is it? North Carolina. It's called Chantel too.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Taylor Stephenson with 13 News Now, and I am tracking Tropical Storm Chantal as it had made landfall earlier this morning. Here's Chantal at the moment. You can see it is just swirling near parts of South Carolina and North Carolina, heading up into central North Carolina at this moment. So let's zoom in closer on Chantal so you can see what's happening. You can see a lot of that energy with Chantal really associated with this eastern side of the storm, what we call the dirty side of the storm. And that's the side that we're going to be on for today. As this continues to move up, we'll see more showers and thunderstorms. Even as you get into parts of the Outer Banks this morning, we've seen some very consistent convection or bubbling up of thunderstorms and showers right about here. So places like Kill Devil Hills, Nags Head this morning, seeing some of that rainfall already for parts of the area. So today, I am tracking the possibility of some showers and thunderstorms that will bring us some heavier downpours across the area. As of around 8 a.m., we did get our latest advisory on Chantal. And right now, Chantal is a tropical storm of barely, though, about 40 miles per hour, sustained winds of 40, gusts up to 70 right now near Johnsonville, South Carolina. And as we get into the next few hours, this is what it's going to look like here across the area. And as you can tell, the center of Chantal will basically be right about here in central North Carolina and make its way all the way up through Carolina. And then the center of Chantal will be somewhere between Richmond and Hampton Roads. Now, depending on where this really sits in terms of the center will determine whether we see a lot of that heavier rainfall. I will say the impacts, don't really get too concerned about the cone because the impacts are much more widespread than the cone itself. But here's the timing. So around 2 p.m. today, it weakens to a tropical depression, sustained winds of only 35 miles per hour. By Monday morning, a remnant low. So it'll get called the remnant of Chantal. And then moving through Virginia, still a remnant low. Winds will continue to die down around 25 mile per hour sustained winds as we get into Monday afternoon. This is around 2 p.m. So this is what we're expecting for Chantal right now. Pressure is up to about 1,005 millibars. But I'll zoom in closer. You can see where that track, the projected track of the center of Chantal will go. Remember, this is not where the impacts will be. Impacts are spread well beyond the cone. The cone's only a measure of where the center of Chantal may fall 2/3 of the time. So this brings the center of
So that's about the storms going on and stuff. So that's what that's about. Let's see.
You shot a 9-year-old kid. Think about that for a second.
It was supposed to be a night filled with laughter and celebration, but instead,
got wicked. They got real wicked.
just after 11 p.m., witnesses recall how the sound of fireworks was overtaken by the sound of gunfire. Charlottesville neighborhood right off 5th Street.
At first, it was like a big, firework, and then I hear about 60 gunshots go. It went off, and and then it got real hectic out here. It was really bad.
The shootout between two groups police say are likely gang affiliated left 5 people injured.
A 9-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 52-year-old, none of which we believe were the intended targets of the gunfight.
We seen a little girl. She was stretched out, and an older woman up the street.
Charlottesville Police Chief Michael Koch says the video evidence is harrowing.
Watching that video of that shootout and hearing small kids screaming and yelling and crying when this has happened, it's just something that it's not easy to watch.
Koch says incidents like these puts into perspective just how much work still needs to be done to fight gun violence in the community.
We've been talking about gun violence for a while, and we've made a lot of progress, but when you see something like this, clearly we haven't made enough.
The investigation is now a joint effort with Albemarle County authorities working closely with Charlottesville Police to track down those responsible for the shooting.
Albemarle County PD, their detectives are here with us as well. This has nothing to do with Albemarle County. They're here with us today, working side by side with our detectives, putting this case together.
An investigation underway tonight into a deadly incident in Logan Square. Firefighters responding to a fire discovered 3 children inside, all of them stabbed multiple times.
One has died, another is in critical condition. WGN's Andrea Medina is live in the 3600 block of West Palmer Avenue. Andrea.
Hi, Jackie and Ray. Well, crews have actually finished up boarding up the home, the building that actually burned. And the top unit neighbor tells us that the neighbor below her acted strangely, but she never expected her to do something so horrible. Now, she and other residents call the situation devastating after a young boy was killed in a violent attack.
I literally told him yesterday, I was like, I don't feel comfortable living here with our downstairs neighbor.
Dorothy Katz, who has lived in the 2-story brick building in Logan Square for 2 years, says she shared this worry to her boyfriend, never imagining the havoc that would unfold on Friday morning.
She stabbed all our kids and set the house on fire.
Katz says she and her neighbor rarely spoke, making what happened all the more surprising. She was in bed when the fire alarm suddenly went off. Moments later, she heard windows shattering and knew she had to run. Video from the Citizen app shows thick smoke pouring from the building near Palmer Street and Lawndale Avenue. Inside, first responders discovered 3 children who had been stabbed with a knife. Chicago police say a 45-year-old woman was behind the attack and then set the home on fire. A 4-year-old boy was found with stab wounds to his chest. He was rushed to Stroger Hospital in critical condition, but later died from his injuries.
Rest in peace to little boy. Like, he did not deserve that. He was a sweet kid.
A 10-year-old boy suffered wounds to his right arm, and a 13-year-old girl had injuries to her face, chest, and back. The boy is expected to recover, but the girl is fighting for her life.
You never want to hear that anyone's life is taken, especially a child.
The fire quickly spread to a neighboring yellow home, causing significant damage to its roof. Kat says she ran back inside the building to save her cats and lizard, but later had to be hospitalized for smoke inhalation. A 34-year-old man was also taken to the hospital for the same thing. At this time, investigators have not confirmed whether the children are related to each other or to the suspect. Neighbors, however, say it was a mother who turned on her own children. As investigators continue to search for answers, those in the neighborhood are calling it a heartbreaking tragedy.
3 kids for this to happen is devastating.
Now, police have not released the motive behind the stabbings and the fire, but they have confirmed the 45-year-old woman is in custody. We're live in Logan Square. Andrea Medina, WGN News.
Andrea, thank you.
Big ideas don't come easy.
You shot a 9.
Damn.
You shot a 9-year-old.
Yep. Oh, here it is. I found it.
Meanwhile, a young police officer who traveled to Miami from Louisiana for plastic surgery in March died just days later.
NBC6 investigative reporter Amy Viteri found she is one of dozens who have died in Miami-Dade County after cosmetic procedures in recent years.
She spoke exclusively with the woman's sister who is sharing her loss, hoping to help others.
Rosa was just 26 years old and had already accomplished so much.
Very bright and promising future.
She was serving her community as a police officer in the city of New Orleans. She also served her country overseas.
She had just come back from a deployment to Kuwait as a U.S. Army reservist.
Her sister, Ana Min Vasquez, says Rosa, the youngest of 5 siblings, had even bigger dreams for the future.
She wanted to work for the FBI. So she clearly had a plan.
But Vasquez says no one in the family knew about Rosa's plans to get cosmetic surgery when she told them she was taking a birthday trip to Miami in March. According to this invoice shared by her sister, the procedure included liposuction and fat transfer injections, commonly known as BBL, short for Brazilian butt lift. It shows Rosa paid $7,500 at Prestige Plastic Surgery Clinic on Coral Way. Vasquez says Rosa told the family about the surgery 3 days later on Saturday.
You know, we had just that feeling in our guts, like something is wrong. I texted her and I said, I hope you're doing okay. You're enjoying your birthday. But there was no answer back.
By the following morning on March 23rd, Rosa was dead. According to this report from the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner, a friend staying with her at this short-term rental discovered her unresponsive and started CPR, but it was too late. The cause? A pulmonary embolism from blood clots associated with cosmetic surgery. An investigator noted it's a common complication, and there were no obvious signs of neglect.
I hate that I'm here because I'm having to talk about her in the sense of her not being here.
These notes from the medical examiner's investigation detail the hours and days following Rosa's surgery. According to her friend, she complained of extreme pain at a follow-up appointment the day after the procedure.
Things took a turn Saturday.
On Saturday, at a follow-up massage appointment, her friend said she was pale with dilated pupils and her lips were purple, adding she later complained of no sensation in her legs or feet.
I've been having complications today.
Details also described in this text message Vasquez says Rosa sent to a friend that night.
Her blood pressure dropped drastically, and I did not have circulation in the feet.
Warning signs Vasquez believes could have saved her sister's life.
That's the part that we have to live with because it was unnecessary for her to die.
NBC6 Investigates has learned over the last 3.5 years, the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office has certified 25 deaths related to cosmetic surgery, involving several different doctors and clinics.
There have been too many deaths too close together to raise a huge flag and say, wait a minute. I want her death to be, if anything, a cautionary tale for those who are thinking of having these surgeries.
The medical examiner's office ruled the manner of death an accident. We spoke to a representative from Prestige Plastic Surgery by phone who told us they did not recall Wildelis Rosa's case. They did not answer our specific questions, but said they follow all protocols for safety before and after procedures. Amy Viteri, NBC.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, bro.
Crazy stuff, man.
These women wanting to get these BBLs, bro. What's up with this shit, man? Wow, bro.
That one was a police officer.
Why the hell you need a BBL for, bro? These females, wow, man. Insecurity, you know. Society doesn't get on women for being insecure. Though. It rewards them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
What you want to do is save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car
Here we
insurance.
That's great, but can you ask your friend to stop digging into the green?
I can ask.
There's a lot of numbers in there.
But he's not going to. Only pay?
Welcome back, True Seeker. Yesterday, for the 4th of July, Sting, formerly of the band The Police, of course, one of the members of The Police, Stuart Copeland, his daddy was in the CIA. But Sting of The Police, for the U.S.'s birthday, he sang the song Every Breath You Take from that Synchronicity album that Murder by Numbers is on. Just to read some of the lyrics to Every Breath You Take by The Police, a song that very much reminds us of the police state that is being built. Every breath you take and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every single day and every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Oh, can't you see you belong to me? How my poor heart aches with every step you take. Every move you make and every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. So Sting is 73 years old right now. He'll turn 74 later this year. He performed on 7/4, supposedly the day the U.S. got free from Britain. And where's Sting from? Oh, that's right. He's from Britain. Of course, in Gematria, English equals 74. Like Gematria, like occult, like Masonic, like London, like free, which we didn't get from Britain, as they have this artist perform for our nation. Sting's birthday, 10/2, just for the record, police equals 102. Remember, the song Murder by Numbers alludes to the Kabbalistic code of letters and numbers. It's about how killing is as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. A lot of suspicious deaths in the world of entertainment. The suspicious reports are written by the police. But look at this. From Sting's birthday, October 2nd, to his performance yesterday on the 4th of July, 275 days, right? Federal government equals 275. So does the Stargate project. 47 can also be written 47, like 47. I remember we talked about the Stargate project in 47, how it's the first federal Stargate project since 47 years ago. And that last one was headed by a man born in 47. And this one's for number 47. And Larry Ellison, who spoke about the Stargate project, talked about how this AI they're building can create this utopian surveillance state where everyone's under the watchful eye of cameras at all time, putting everyone on their best behavior. Really, think about it. The Stargate project, the movie, or the Stargate, the movie, I should say, came out on Bill Gates' birthday, another big tech guy who operates on the 47th parallel. But really, just think about how all of this stuff lines up so perfectly. And in case you missed my work earlier this year on the Stargate project, just so you can see with the ritual, again, all these big tech guys were standing behind Trump on the 21st day of the first month, 211. If you run it forwards, the Stargate project's 211. If you run it inverse, it's 275. We talked about how all these things matter, but 211 is the 47th prime. This ritual with Sting is on the 4th of July, 4/7. You get the dead member of the Outlaws hip hop group at age 47. We covered that yesterday. A lot of you guys are asking me to cover things every single day. I have always put out this reminder. It seems like it doesn't reach you. You guys are asking me to cover things every single day that have already been covered. Please don't just click on what pops up in your YouTube notifications. Actually click on my channel, go to the video tab, the live tab. I woke up this morning, there's like 30 requests for me to cover the death of the Outlaws rapper. It was covered last night. A bunch of requests for Bruce Jenner's friend's death in the ATV. That was covered in yesterday's live stream, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, please don't just wait for notifications. Actively click on the channels and search what's in their videos and live. And some channels do shorts. I don't really do those. But search the tabs and see what content the people are making, not waiting for YouTube to notify you. Anyway, the Stargate Project, 211, 47th prime. Mr. AI, Sam Altman, from his birthday to the announcement was 275 days. Here we go again. Here we go again. Altman, alt key on the call on the keyboard. OpenAI, his thing is 60. So many 60 rituals with Trump in the 60th election, and this past week, the 60-minute settlement. But yeah, the movie Stargate did come out on Bill Gates' birthday, who does operate on the 47th parallel. And before he moved up to the 47th parallel to the suburbs of Seattle, where did Bill Gates start his business? Oh yeah, that's right, in the 47th state, New Mexico, where the Roswell incident happened in 47, which was just after the first official UFO sighting in Seattle on the 47th parallel. That's why the Space Needle's up there. Jeff Bezos also started his company in New Mexico and moved it up to Seattle. What are they trying to tell us? These people even human? This technology seems beyond humanity. Anyway, if you want to go back and check out this work, again, Larry Ellison, who was the most outspoken about it, go back to what he didn't say this on January 21st, but he was talking about, again, the Stargate project's about advancing AI. Larry Ellison, September of 2024, at the Oracle shareholder meeting, their annual thing, he was talking about how advanced AI is becoming. And here was his quote. He has this vision of everybody wearing cameras and everything being under the watchful eye of an AI. He said, citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. Ellison said, envisioning a future where AI analyzes real-time data from this network to prevent crime and influence public behavior for a safer society. And those who give up safety for liberty deserve neither. Who said that? Was it Benjamin Franklin? But yeah, just think about that in light of the every breath you take and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take. I'll be watching you every single day and every word you say, every game you play. Yeah, it's just blatant. It's just blatant, you guys. And don't forget the 4th of July, right? 4/7, government equals 47, authority 47, technology 47. President, White House, Republican, Democrat, DC, it's all 47. Again, it's the authority number, and time also equals 47. What a ritual in time. Time, the ultimate authority, the authority that no one can escape. Yeah, just so symbolic. The Brit.
Right. Here we go.
Unfortunately, more violence in the city. So far, at least 40 people have been shot and 6 killed across Chicago this 4th of July weekend. Some neighborhood residents walked the track at Avalon Park, unaware just hours earlier gun violence claimed the life of a teenage girl while wounding a man there.
I'm always shocked at the things that's happening in this area, but again, I'm getting used to it at the same time. So, but it is heartbreaking.
Just before 11 p.m. Friday night, investigators say gunfire erupted in the park located in the 1200 block of East 83rd Street on the city's south side. Police say 16-year-old Mia Smith died of a bullet wound to the throat, while a 35-year-old man was hit in the leg after an attacker approached them on foot and opened fire. In the hours to follow, there would be 2 new mass shootings. The first within the city's back of the yards neighborhood, leaving 7 people wounded. It happened near 48th and Justine just after 11 o'clock. That's when witnesses say 2 gunmen walked up to a crowd and started shooting. 4 women injured, range in age from 21 to 27 years old, and were seriously or critically hurt, along with a 21-year-old and a 29-year-old man. A 42-year-old man also remains hospitalized. Another attack on the group happened near the Cook County Criminal Courts building. Investigators say 4 men were sitting in a car near 27th in California when another vehicle pulled up and someone inside started shooting. The men, who range in age from 25 to 33 years old, each suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Street pastor and anti-violence activist Dr. Donovan Price says he's concerned about what feels like an uptick in gun violence.
Sometimes it's about plain evil, and as long as people have guns, they're going to use them whenever they get angry. It's a tool of convenience. Of angry convenience.
ABC 7 is tracking holiday weekend shootings from the morning of Thursday, July 3rd at midnight to the evening of Sunday, July 6th at 11:59 p.m. At least 44 people have been shot, resulting in 6 homicides, a concern to some Chicagoans fearful about their safety.
I have 2 sons, and
crazy stuff, man.
Bro, honestly, I think this I don't know, bro. I don't know about this story, bro. They might, I don't know, man. All of a sudden, and shit, just because it's a holiday, you got 40-something shootings and shit.
He said, I mean, didn't I tell you it's gonna happen like that?
One raggedy ass holiday, you got 40-something shootings. I don't know about that. And then all of a sudden, how come there was no shooting on Juneteenth? No shootings on Juneteenth.
Okay. Welcome to Savvy Sab's podcast.
Yeah, you're right. You got a point there, bro. Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you really think about it, ain't it? You got a good point, bro.
Well, you never know. So, but that narrative, that the Chicago narrative, you know what I'm saying?
You say Chicago narrative.
The Chicago danger narrative, black people, you know what I'm saying? That's how they do it, you know what I mean? Even though there's Latinos out there and shit, they got Latino gangs and they got cartels and all that, but they don't never, talk about no
So
out there. It's interesting.
So look, I'm gonna let this play because I don't know what happened. I had a lot of stuff in here, and obviously my search engine must have got erased or something. So I tried to find some stuff, but what's up, man? Let me play a little bit of it.
the bill did reach the Senate, and the Senate decided to make revisions to Trump's current bill. And I do want to show you what those revisions look like. And I want to explain to you how this may impact you. So from what I understand, this bill has now being passed back to the House because they did revise the bill. Now, there was a tie. Imagine that. There was a tie in the Senate for this particular bill. And guess who wiggled their way in to break the tie? Watch this.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being evenly divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
So there you have it. The so-called big, beautiful bill is now past the Senate floor. As close as it gets, a 50-50 vote here with Vice President J.D. Vance casting that tie-breaking vote. I want to bring in Jay O'Brien, who's there on Capitol Hill. Jay, you heard.
So as you guys can see, it was 50 yay, 50 nay there. And again, this is one of those times where the vice president can come in and they are the tiebreaker. Instead of, notice he didn't like deflect to the Senate parliamentarian. He came in and he broke the tie. And that's how the bill was able to pass. Now, I want to explain to you how this is going to impact you. And also, there seems to be quite a bit of a divide that's happening. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are at each other's throats again because Elon Musk is not happy that this bill passed in the Senate. I think he kind of feels like it's a slap in the face to him because he was the one that was a part of Doge. So let me show you what the current Senate revision says. So check this out. So number one, tax cuts are the priority. Republicans say the bill is crucial because there will be a massive tax increase after December when taxes break from Trump's first term expire. The legislation contains roughly $3.8 trillion in tax cuts. But listen to this. The existing tax rates and brackets would become permanent under the bill. It temporarily would add new tax breaks that Trump campaigned on. No tax on tips, overtime pay, or some automotive loans, along with a bigger $6,000 deduction in the Senate draft for older adults who earn more than $75,000 a year. One thing I want to mention here about the no tax on tips, that's now being means tested. So it is important for me to mention that to you because things is not as what we were told it was going to be. So, you guys know how I feel about means testing. I don't like it. I don't like when people means test these policies.
I'm right here.
Now, here's another one here. It would boost the 2000.
Unless it's a certain amount, am I right?
The bill allows workers to deduct up to $25,000 in tips annually from their taxable income. This applies to occupation with customary and regular received tips. On overtime pay, the deduction is capped at $12,500 for single files and $25,000 for married couples jointly. The tax relief provisions on both tips and overtime pay applies to envelope making up to $150,000 to $300,000 a year for couples jobs. So basically, it's deductions, but it's not, it doesn't entirely eliminate taxes on Social Security either. So, and that's for your first $25,000. So it's not, I'm going to say it's good for some people, but it's not like there ain't no taxes on nothing. Like they said none, but that ain't exactly true. They put it like that. You gotta read the fine print. That's all I'm saying.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. They don't really get taxed. I mean, and plus, are these tip people really getting that much? 20-something thousand. Are they really getting that much in taxes though? Anyway, how many people, what I'm saying, that are tip workers are actually getting that much?
You have to ask people in the industry.
So I'm like, you have to ask people
in the industry, in a particular industry, because you got some places that some places give out a lot of tips, and some places it's mediocre. So it depends on the industry too.
But I think that honestly, for people to, we didn't get to vote on it anyway. That's another thing that's bullshit because we don't get to vote on this shit, which is weird because this is supposed to be for the people, and this is the time we don't get to vote on nothing. When these motherfuckers, print out these money for these bills and shit that they want to fucking push. That's the only time you notice they print out money for the people besides the stimulus. And it's not even really for the people. This is for the 1%. Let's just keep it real. This ain't for the people like that. and this is for to give these cats permanent tax breaks.
Well, it is a wealth transfer. Anytime you give out a lot of money like that, it is a wealth transfer. I will tell you that. So like I said, some of it's gonna be beneficial to some people, and some people are not gonna be beneficial. I couldn't find anything with the radical right, but they say immigration enforcement is in the bill, which that's in there, but at the same time, they also want to make sure that the leisure workers and farm immigrants get the state too as well. So it's kind of like
that's bullshit though. That's selective. But see, that lets you know. That's why I don't. If you notice, I don't back none of these sides. I don't be posting none of this shit. I don't care about none of these people. And I don't care about none of this shit. I think it's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, really? You know what I'm saying? None of these sides really give a fuck about you or you know what I'm saying, or the people. You know what I'm saying? None of these people. You can't look at it like they can relate to us. These people, none of these people never had to go hungry. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people, they can have chefs and motherfuckers. People make their food and shit and prepare it. You know what I mean? Let's just keep it real. A lot of these people, and then you cut these social programs at a time like this. It's like it just is all this is manufacturing poverty, more poverty, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Giving more rise to private prisons. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
everybody know when you cut social programs, the crime go up. Everybody know that. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
and when it's hard right now, like it is to find a job right now, crime goes up. I mean, these people know that, and they want to make provisions and stuff like that with people in some of these programs, like as if these people aren't working, like these people don't work. And see, that's the myth that these people get, and a lot of black people fall for that shit too, which is weird. But we think just because people are on social programs, they don't work, and they just sit on their ass all day, which is really weird, a weird kind of perspective. And see, that's another thing. That's another way how they trick us to thinking like them, like the European, bro. Motherfuckers get to thinking they're better and thinking that, you know what I mean? Than somebody, you know what I mean? Or they can't relate, or just no, these people can't relate to us. We need to stop acting like we better than the next person. And realize none of these sides are for you. None of these sides are for us, bro.
I've dealt with a lot of these people, right?
So we got to form our own party or something. We got to form our own something, dude. We can't just be, keep thinking once this side and that side. That's really, really childish thinking. And at this point,
now they're saying that what's
Elon Musk?
Yeah, it's he creating the party. I'm like, come on, man.
But see, honestly, that's stage. But see, motherfuckers been listening to us because motherfuckers been talking about that for years, creating our own party. And it's funny, this billionaire, South African motherfucker talk about it, and now it's trending in the news. But yeah, you or me or whoever talk about it on your show, whoever on my show and shit, that shit ain't gonna get out. And that lets you know too, man, these people get paid for this shit. These people are marketed. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, what it is. I mean, I just kind of laughed at shit, to be honest with you. I just thought shit was kind of funny, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like you're gonna make the party, but then and see this whole him and Donald Trump shit. I really think that's staged too. I really don't think that's real. I don't think it's genuine.
It is staged. I mean, that's common sense. The world is a stage. I mean, come on.
These people get riled up and they get to, making whole shows, panels about it, and oh man, he's going at it's just all something to talk about, man.
Hold on, man. Let me say something. Let me tell you something. As much stuff as is going on, I ain't got time to make no panel about no damn one topic for no daggone 3 hours and then fuck that. There's a lot of shit going on. I try to break everything down to 5 to 10 minute segment. I gotta go, but at the same time, man, Yeah, because there's a lot of shit going on. Like, what is this right here? I'm looking at right here. Like, I know this is like some. You were talking about layoffs, right? And all that, right? We just talking about.
Oh, it just ghost jobs. It just not even
Well,
being
look,
able to find a job. Period.
I mean, it's like some bullshit that I'm pulling up. But this is to show you something. What is it? Bumble? You heard of Bumble before?
Yep.
They laying off 1/3 of their workforce. This is a damn dating app.
Wow.
To join a growing list of dating app providers to lay off hundreds of employees. The Texas-based online dating platform plans to lay off about 1/3 of its workforce, a move that could save up to $40 million US for that company. And a month earlier, Match Group, who owns Tinder, Hinge, and OkCupid, also announced plans to cut about 13% of its workforce. So what does this mean for hopeless romantics turning to these dating apps? For that, we're joined by Trina Orchard. She is an anthropologist and associate professor at the School of Wealth Studies at Western University, and she's also the author of Sticky, Sexy, Sad, Swipe Culture, and the Darker Side of Dating Apps. Trina joins us from London, Ontario. Thanks for taking the time to be with us.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so let's start with those growing number of layoffs we're seeing at a number of different dating platforms. And in part, that's because they are seeing fewer revenues and fewer users.
Yeah, people are swipe increasingly expensive. There's more bots, there's more sort of swindler type behavior happening, and fewer people are using them in meaningful ways. And so I think a lot of folks are just thinking it's not worth their time and effort.
So maybe not worth their time and effort, but they're still looking for a connection. Do you think we're seeing sort of a shift in how people want to approach that search?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially post-pandemic, people are pretty hungry for person-to-person interactions, and younger generations don't have a lot of experience in that particular way of interacting, but they're hungry to learn, and they're increasingly the ones who are putting down the dating apps more so than older generations.
And so in terms of sort of that hunger to find a different path to find.
So there's a whole lot of options that people can choose instead of dating apps. And that includes things like speed dating, running clubs are sort of the new dating app in a lot of ways. There's also dating coaches. We see different AI platforms being used as well. People are going to parties where they can pitch their friends. So there's lots of alternatives that are emerging.
Now, you talked a little bit about what's leading to the burnout, and certainly we've seen in terms of the numbers, for example, a research firm, Sensor Tower, in 2024 said that worldwide monthly active user growth for dating apps slid 10% year over year. So it's not just a North American thing. Globally, there are few people who are turning to these dating apps.
Yeah, I think it's also a product of sometimes technology has run its course. You know, this was the first version of dating apps. So I think the industry is kind of in a bit of a crisis, or it could be seen as a phase to pivot and really reflect on what reviewers and users are saying that they want instead. So it's not necessarily the end of dating apps, but it's really up to the companies whether or not they're willing to be flexible in adapting their product.
You know, of course, as an anthropologist, you also study sort of the trends of human behavior and how things can swing. And certainly we know that there has recently been sort of this move towards digital detox and getting offline. And perhaps part of that might be moving towards a more organic way of finding people to connect with. Do you think we're seeing the pendulum swing in that different direction towards a more kind of what some might call old-fashioned meeting connections, not just romantic relationships, but relationships in general?
Yeah, and again, especially post-pandemic, I think that was a real motivator. We were very lonely and locked up and isolated during that time, relying so much on technology. And I think we have a lot of evidence in our own personal lives about the negative impact.
So that's just one thing about, dating apps and shit. I just thought that was just kind of funny. You just bringing up stuff about jobs and stuff.
Interesting.
I just thought that was kind of funny. You getting in dating that word, huh? Dang. All right, here you go. What you were talking about? More realistic.
The unemployment rate for new college grads has recently surged, and some economists say businesses are now replacing entry-level jobs with artificial intelligence. Here's CBS's Ali Bauman.
Front gate.
22-year-old Michael Macaluso just earned his degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Connecticut.
Feel good?
But this summer, he's back helping manage his hometown pool. He hasn't found a job in his field despite applying for nearly 200 positions. Did you have any expectations about what the job market would be like when you graduated?
I was told by a lot of people that I was going to get a job right out of college. And then all of a sudden, there's no jobs.
New research finds now, for the first time ever, the unemployment rate among recent college graduates has exceeded the national unemployment rate, ballooning to 6.6% over the past 12 months. Oxford Economics' Matthew Martin.
This is kind of goes against what you would expect. Those with higher educational attainment usually have better employment prospects than those with less educational attainment.
Martin's team believes companies are eliminating formative entry-level jobs, the work handed over to artificial intelligence. Tech companies are leading the way.
AI is permeating every aspect of our lives.
Nariman Farvardin, the president of Stevens Institute of Technology, says his school has been preparing for the AI revolution for the last 10 years. He expects disruption throughout the workforce will be bigger than the disturbance brought on by the introduction of the internet, and it could last up to 15 years.
I think AI has the potential to either augment or maybe totally replace jobs that are physically or cognitively repetitive. These jobs are not only done by entry people. There are certain people who do repetitive things for all of their life. Those jobs are in jeopardy.
Kaylee Totlin just graduated from Stevens with her computer science degree. She did an internship with Verizon as a sophomore, and the company has now hired her.
I think something that's important with entry-level jobs is the networking and the opportunities that you make from it.
Farvardin says his message to students today is the same as it always has been. Get an education that will last a lifetime.
We don't try to teach our students skills. We try to teach students a way to learn on their own for the rest of their lives.
He says workers who innovate alongside AI won't get left behind. Ali Bauman, CBS News, Eastchester, New York.
I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money by pairing Amazon with the power of AI.
They do. All this has been done on purpose. Ain't no solution. You know what I'm saying? What, you know, what's going on with the what's the name, bro? What's going on with the infrastructure? Nobody talking about infrastructure. Like honestly, bro. And it's funny because I'm hearing people talking about, oh man, you know, Trump said he was straight clear and said what he was going to do. He was clear about. He kind of low-key wasn't because he was hiding behind Project 2025. You see what I'm saying? Because this is something different with this job shit. But I mean, this could be a number of different things. But look, all this other stuff, bro, I don't want to hear. You know, I don't want to hear it, bro. We got to get some accountability, man. This 7 months of shit is shitty. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers ain't talking about no. You know, this is straight. I just see a lot of Project 2025 initiatives to me. That's what I see. You know, the shit that they was accusing them of in 2023 and shit. You know what I'm saying? 2024 of the Project 2025 and the shit he was going to do. So that's what I see right now. You know what I'm saying? I think that shit is kind of like, I mean, that's all that he lied, Biden lied, Obama, that's all lie. You know? But this job shit, man, you know, you want to cut programs and shit, and then you want longer incentives, you want incentives as far as more work time and this and that for this person and this and that and this and all this bullshit. But it's hard for motherfuckers to find jobs and maintain jobs, though. So, I mean, I just think that this is all manufactured. It's all done by design. Cancer research, you know, they stopping funding for that, even though they already got a cure for that. You know, nutrition in schools.
Your
funding for that. I don't know why you want to cut funding for kids and nutrition and kids and being fed in schools. I don't know why you want to do that. I don't know, bro. I just think this shit, like, they give you the worst and worst, bro. And they, you know what I mean? You fuck either way. You know what I'm saying? So in America, we're taught to not take accountability, and we're taught to blame somebody else or something else instead of just, you know, blaming what the fuck the problem is. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's just crazy.
All right, here we go. I was telling you about this the other day.
Holiday cookout this weekend may cost you a little more than last year.
That's right. ABC 13's Sarah Weitzman takes us from farm to table to show us what local beef producers say is driving up the costs and why it may be worth your time to shop around.
Before you head to the grocery store to buy beef for your July 4th cookout, you should know that cattle producers are increase in the value of their cows, and it's not for the reasons you may think.
Raising cattle isn't cheap, especially now. Pennsylvania County cattle producer Hunter Johnson says it's the behind-the-scenes essentials that are eating up his bottom line.
On our farm inputs, we're in between 30-35%, maybe even higher on some inputs.
Things like fertilizer, feed, and the chemicals used to control weeds.
You got to control weeds. If you don't control weeds, all this expensive fertilizer that we're putting out will essentially be taken up by the weeds, and we won't have a viable product to feed cattle with.
While that dries up his costs, he says a different issue is what's driving up prices at the grocery store.
Seeing these lower supplies of beef. And with the demand for beef staying high and with a lower supply, we're seeing some increase in prices for the consumer.
The Virginia Cooperative Extension confirms the supply has dropped.
It's lowest that it's been since 2014. And what that does is it creates a supply and demand issue. Buyers that are sending them into feedlots are willing to pay for a higher price because there's just simply not as many feeder calves out there right now.
So what does that mean for your July 4th barbecue? Well, that depends on where you shop. At Piggly Wiggly in Danville, meat manager Eric Folk says prices are rising, but they're doing what they can to cushion the blow.
Try to keep it low. We don't want to pass it on to the customer, so we absorb some and buy local.
So while here the beef prices won't have your wallet hungry, it may be different depending on where your local grocery store gets their beef supply.
That's kind of interesting. If I eat beef, I'd probably be mad as hell, but then again, I don't eat it, so it's kind of like on that one, like,
Walmart lying to you, man. Walmart bullshit, lying and shit, you know. They went on they went up on their prices, and it's not because of the tariffs and shit. They made a lot of big profit and shit, man. And they just being greedy, man. Motherfuckers want to go up on their prices just because they want it because they're greedy. It's a greedy ass motherfucking white motherfucking shareholders, whoever the fuck at the top. You know? Crazy.
Yeah, let me play this. Yeah, I had a headache earlier, but I fell asleep. I was up too long yesterday, man. I tell you, I DJing for like 8 hours or whatever the hell it was. Yeah, my mind just slept with the fan on. Woke up, man. Nephew down the street somewhere, man. I was like, what the hell is going on around here? Yeah. He walking up and down the block singing, man. I'm like, all right, whatever. But I fell asleep for like 3-4 hours, man. It rained, man, started coming down, man. Shoot. So we couldn't have a normal workout routine. Shout out to Miss Felika Lockhart for this.
Hey everyone, big heads up, Paleo Valley.
The following is dedicated to my friend and predecessor, Bettina of San Pedro, California, my stepmother, Essie of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and my mom, Ty Karim of Carson, California, who passed away of breast cancer in 1983. She was 35. Imagine waking up every day in your own home, breathing air that slowly poisons you. That's not dystopian fiction. That's the lived experience of residents in Louisiana and California who live in the shadow of industrial giants. These communities, many of them historically Black or low income, are situated near some of the country's most toxic corridors. And while the government should be stepping up to protect them, recent actions suggest the opposite. In April of 2022, the United States Environmental Protection Agency launched a Title VI civil rights investigation into potential racial discrimination in Louisiana's permitting decision. At the center of the probe was Cancer Alley, the stretch of the Mississippi River chemical corridor between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, spanning 85 miles. This corridor, home to a dense cluster of petrochemical plants, disproportionately affects majority Black neighborhoods. Among the most alarming examples cited was the Dinka facility in St. John the Baptist Parish, where emissions of chloropene, a known carcinogen, were so high that an elementary school had to be shut down for the children's safety. Yet, despite the compelling evidence, the EPA abruptly closed its investigation June of 2023, stating it would take no further Title VI action. Why? Not due to a lack of environmental harm, but because Louisiana's own state officials filed a lawsuit questioning the EPA's authority to investigate racial disparities in permitting. Meanwhile, California tells a similarly haunting story. The California Cancer Registry, a state-run population-based database, the Department of Health Services report revealed that refinery-adjacent communities in Los Angeles County, places like Wilmington, San Pedro, and Carson, ranked among the highest in the state for breast and lung cancer incidents. These tracks sat in the shadows of refineries dating back to World War II, while female lung cancer rates in California saw a modest annual decline of 0.6% between 1988 and 1997. The damage had already been done in the decades prior. So what do these two regions, one in the Deep South and the other on the West Coast, have in common? Both Cancer Alley and the West Catalyst Corridor are saturated with chemical petroleum infrastructure. And in both places, communities of color suffered.
Yep. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, man. I'm like I said, I haven't had a little head knocking today, but it's all right. I'm gonna come on tomorrow night too. But yeah, just say Cancer Alley and all that stuff you got, and you know, but and all that, but you know it is what it is. Hey, look, and just be careful, man. Like I said, it's been raining hard here. We got supposed to get an inch or two of rain on Wednesday from Chantal or whatever, and that's about it, man. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. Just people gotta be careful, man. Know your limitations, man. Know right now, it's rain coming down, man, and it's for wildfires going on and stuff. Well, not wildfires, geoengineered fires, but yes. So go ahead and share your information, man.
Okay, what you think about the Cancer Alley, man? You never speak on it?
I did. I said that. That's what I said. I said, gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be careful. You know, we got toxic elements in the rain. That's what I'm talking about. You don't know if this rain is geoengineered. So yeah, she's right. You know, and we gotta look at it, you know, like I was gonna say, but I let her keep talking on the video that 90, I mean, if you look at most of the housing projects in big town, a lot of these big town problem councils that Black folks live in, they buy like plants, nuclear waste plants or something like that. That's not even healthy in its own. So, I mean, you know, we got a landfill right in Richmond, like behind Hillside or something like that. Or they got the water treatment plant down there. You can smell it when you're on the highway. So, I mean, that's just, I mean, it's the, I'm not gonna call it the mark of the beast, but that's the way the game go. So you better know where you're living at, because you should be, this really should be criminal. But I mean, nobody's saying anything, and these companies, hey, they pay to play, so hey, you know, they pay the people to play with them. It's called dancing dirty, man. Hey, man, I'm talking about Bumble. They dating the politicians and everybody else, man. So it is what it is. Hey, man, put that damn thing there. We don't care about that shit. We making money. Fuck that health shit. That's how I go. So you better understand where you at, Frank, and don't let it happen to you. I don't know about nobody else, because I'm gonna be down with you. 85% to 90% of people ain't gonna listen to you no way. So you help you can help, and the rest, hey man, it is what it is, man. Go ahead, shout your face, man.
All right, man. Give me an XX Frank Nitty XX, and then Frank Jones 8115 on Instagram, and then XX Frank Nitty XX on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I'm gonna show y'all. As a matter of fact, tomorrow night I'm gonna come up with a show you a little thing. We're gonna talk about these. Well, this just happened today. Like I said, I've been up all day yesterday for like 20 hours, or really, yeah, almost 20, from 5 o'clock to fucking 12:30. I mean, I be up, but damn, I used to take a nap sometimes. Just was on the move all day yesterday. So like I said, I slept a little bit, but sometimes you don't sleep a lot, and you know it's hot outside, you get a little headache. So we even talk about just something tomorrow night, how we can drain to something, we can help with our own headaches and stuff like that, or own things. Because hey, look, I ain't gotta go to the doctor with this shit. But yeah, man, you know, it is what it is, man. I mean, hey, look, you had something going on earlier last month. You know, sometimes our bodies get drained, man. But I mean, like I said, it just was hot, and I told you it's just been, you know, it's been crazy with the weather. So once again, we're about to get an inch of rain, possibly. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow, thunderstorms. Every time we have a thunderstorm around here, it look like the power goes out for some reason, but like somebody. So that's manufactured. But like I said, man, hey man, take your time, keep doing what you're doing, man. Doing great. People, anybody want to donate to Frank Nitty Cash App, you know, XX Frank Nitty. You know, maybe they can do something, you know. Like I said, I will say this before I go. Went to summer camp 2 or 3 times. I watched these kids this summer, and I will say, if you give them activity, they want to follow and help. So don't believe the hype that kids don't want to do nothing. But you gotta get their phone out their hand. You know, and the good thing is they don't have their phones all the time. So
that's real.
So I've been, like I said, I've been interested. It's been interesting. So, but you got changes to it. Matter of fact, guess what? Sometimes, hey, look, actually, these adults be having the phone in their hand more than the kids sometimes. You realize that. So I've been realizing that. And what did the gay do at the store with the kids? They say, hey, take the phone, and that'll stop all the babies crying. Hey, even with a 2-year-old saw it dead at the basketball court. Got interested. But this wasn't a woman doing this. Was a guy that gave his child the phone. He was like, what do you want to watch? He's like, I'm getting tired of this. But he gave him the phone and put him in like a little chair with his brother, said him watch the phone. But then he got tired of watching the phone. He saw basketball. That got away from him. He started crying. But either he cried for that ball or his cell phone. So it's interesting. But hey, man. So sometimes put the phone down. It's causing accidents. As a matter of fact, the other day they had cameras up. They got a lot of people driving with their cell phone in the hand. They did give out tickets. This was around July 4th weekend. So they are penalizing people for that in Virginia. Just letting you know. But yeah, go ahead and take your time, brother.
All right, man. Salute, man.
Yes, sir. Take your time.
All right.